AM 1060
KDUS B Phoenix and HCLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
It's the lunch break.
You are live on the Tuesday edition of the lunch break.
That's right. Welcome in the Tuesday edition of the lunch break right here on KDUS AM 1060. You can also hang out with us over on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream. Chris Schubert with you for the next 2 hours. Producer Evans on the other side of the glass, ready to take your phone calls. 480-864-1060. Didn't have this on the bingo card here today. A career night for Grayson Allen. And the Phoenix Suns won 3 in a row.
Time for our top story of the day. It's the Daily Special.
When I sat down to watch the Suns game last night, that is not how I anticipated opening the show today. And by the way, Phoenix Suns going to continue to get the big screen if they're going to play like the way they played last night. 42 points from Grayson Allen, his career high. How about the 10 made three-pointers? That's the Suns franchise record. As the Phoenix Suns do what they're supposed to do, and this has kind of become symbolic here now on the program, producer Evan. I'm going to go over here to my left. I'm going to take the Phoenix Suns schedule that we keep in the studio. There's another W going on the list. Right next to New Orleans. November 10th. W. 3 in a row, 5 of their last 6. 6-5 on the season. And you played a New Orleans team last night that, let's face it, is not very good. They're missing their best player. Even with him, their hopes for this season were not that high. And you, from the word go, controlled the game, and you took care of business. No doubt. There was never a concern in that game last night. You had a 7-point lead at the end of the first quarter. Yeah, could you have played a little bit better? Sure. But how many times have we come in here talking about slow starts for the Phoenix Suns through the first couple games of the season? Not the case last night. Then had the great second quarter that blew the doors open and never even really let it get competitive after that. Allowed Jordan Knott to, watch Mark Williams' minutes. Colin Gillespie's back was kind of bothering him a little bit, so sit him down. Don't overwork him in the second half. We're able to put it on cruise control. Just sit on the highway, 75, get to your destination. A perfect night for the Phoenix Suns last night. And you may be scared to say it today. I'm not. I'm going to say it. The Suns are showing their competitive chops. The Suns are a better basketball team than I think many thought they were going to be at the start of this season. And I got to be honest with you, I do not care who they have played. I do not care that 5 of their 6 wins have come against teams that are behind them in the standings. That's exactly what you are supposed to do against those opponents. You know what you're supposed to do against Utah? You know what you're supposed to do against the New Orleans team last night? You know what you're supposed to do against Sacramento? You know what you're supposed to do in a couple of days against Dallas? You're supposed to beat those teams because I know many of you probably scared to say it today. I'm not. They're better than those teams. The Phoenix Suns are better than the Utah Jazz. They're better than the Pelicans. They're better than the Clippers. They're better than the Kings. They're better than Dallas. They're better than all of those teams. And when you remove them from play, what do you start to stare at? A team that right now sits in the 8th spot in the Western Conference. Producer Evan joked with me in the morning meeting today with their 6 wins. The win total, 30 and a half. They need 31. Nearly a fifth of the way there already to their win total for the season. On pace to fly by that number. So I don't care who they're playing. You play your schedule. You play the teams on your schedule. It all balances out in the end. You play everybody. We're going to learn. And oh, by the way, this team did beat San Antonio to hand them their first loss a couple of weeks ago. And that San Antonio team is making a lot of noise at the top of the Western Conference standings right now. And, oh, by the way, they're doing most of this without their second best player. Jalen Green's still sidelined. Not going to be back for a long time. The group that you saw last night is going to have to do a lot of the heavy lifting, and you saw what it can look like. You're seeing the buy-in. Even somebody like myself, who had the, I think, rosiest colored glasses for this season, said that they were going to win more games than they did a year ago, said that they were going to be more competitive, said that their win total was a complete sham at 30.5, just a mispriced number. Even me, I thought it was going to take a little bit longer. I thought it was going to take some time for there to be the buy-in. I thought it was going to take some time for it to all gel and for the results to be there. I thought the first month or two, we may be questioning a lot. Maybe some good, but mostly bad. And I thought around Christmas, around the turn of the calendar, unofficial second half of the season is when you would start to see the results come in. Phoenix Suns are beating my expectations. I did not expect them to get off to this type of start. That's a credit to Jordan Knott. It's a credit to the entire Suns coaching staff. It's a credit to the players who clearly are having more fun playing basketball. Doesn't it look like Devin Booker's having more fun? Doesn't it look like Grayson Allen?
It all feels like they're having a better time. It really does.
Hungry team now. You're coached the right way. You have the right system in place. You have the right pieces. And it just feels like everybody's a lot more comfortable. And I don't want to throw Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal completely under the bus, but doesn't it feel like everybody's more comfortable doing what they're great at and not having to worry about get the ball to Kevin Durant, get the ball to Bradley Beal, make sure every single part of the big three is involved? Doesn't it feel like there's more flow and rhythm to watching this team play? Which is kind of what we expected. And you're seeing it through the first 11 games of this season. You are seeing it in the early returns of this new era.
The alignment.
Boy, am I aligned today with what the Phoenix Suns have sold us over the first 11 games of the season. And I said it yesterday, and it bears repeating again today. We are just scratching the surface, ladies and gentlemen. Jalen Green has played 30 minutes for this basketball team. Their three rookies that they drafted haven't really been major contributors yet. The sky is still the limit this year for this team of making us all feel good about what they decided to do in the summer. You've won 5 of your last 6. And oh, by the way, I know you don't want to look too far ahead, but Producer Evan, have you looked at the next 4 games for the Phoenix Suns? Have you looked at who they get to play? It's Dallas on Wednesday. Guess what? Should win that game. Indiana on Thursday. Indiana, not a good team this year. Should be able to win that game. Atlanta, very similar to you. They're also 6-5 over there in the Eastern Conference. And then you get at Portland. Portland, one of those teams behind you in the standings. I don't want to put the cart in front of the horse, but with the way the Suns are playing right now, can't you see a couple more wins coming in here? Can't you see this team getting to 8-9 wins pretty quickly? And oh, by the way, you get through that stretch, you got an NBA Cup game coming up here pretty soon against Minnesota. And for those of you who maybe laughed at us when we said that the NBA Cup could be important, the NBA Cup is something worth rooting for, with the way this team's playing right now, aren't you excited about that game on November 21st when they play Minnesota in the NBA Cup? Doesn't that game have a little bit more juice now with the way this team is playing? I thought at some point throughout the year we would get this type of excitement. We would feel this good about the team. I did not expect it 11 games in. Now, caution, I don't think it's going to go swimmingly all year. This is a lot of new. There's going to be some turbulence. It's going to be bumpy at times. But to see the early success makes me more comfortable when they go through the bad times that they're going to be able to.
I was going to say that too. It also tells me and shows me that in those hard times, that team can say, hey, here's what we had success with early. But if you start and you're kind of sputtering, what do you have to look back on and say, hey, what were we successful doing? There's no answer.
For example, they hit, and they do have a really tough stretch, right? Let's start with that NBA Cup game. Minnesota, San Antonio, Houston, Oklahoma City, Denver. Like that's a tough stretch to end the month of November. That could be a time period where saying that this is a team that's going to win a championship. We're saying this is a team that's playing some competitive basketball. I don't know if they're going to be able to be super competitive in all of those games, but coming out. The Phoenix Suns get the big screen. Phoenix Suns, doesn't matter what else is on, they get the big screen. That's how well this team is playing. It's all code over on the KDUSA M1060 YouTube live stream where you can head over there and watch the program and chat away. Another way for you to interact with the program. It said addition by subtraction is real. It certainly feels that way. For those who thought just by getting rid of Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal that the team would get better, not having to put those pieces together, it feels like it early on. It really feels like everybody not just deferring to those three, to those two, has freed up everybody to be more comfortable and allow them to play their best version of basketball. Think about this. Now it's basketball. Anybody can go off. Anybody can be hot on any given night. But does Grayson Allen score 42 points and set a Suns record with 10 made threes if Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal are on this team? Does he get that type of opportunity?
No chance. No chance. I don't think so at all. It doesn't give the opportunity to Grayson Allen to take that many shots, let alone get that hot. And he would have never had that with Beal and Kevin Durant. his season high. I think it was probably 18. Wow. Has he ever had a 40-point night in the NBA? Yes, April 10th, 2019. With the Utah Jazz. Yeah. It's 6 years ago.
Guys to step up in the absence of Jalen Green. And last night it was Grayson Allen, and he took care of business against New Orleans. You're above 500. You're the 8th seed right now in the Western Conference. And I know none of this stuff matters until we get to the end of the season. But boy, I'm going to enjoy every second of this, especially when you have a football team that's the mess that they are. We're going to get to them here today on the program as well. You've got a basketball team that you should be proud of. You have a basketball team that's worth investing your time into. Just enjoy it. Just enjoy it because it's certainly a lot of fun. 480-864-1060 is the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. When we come back, it is an Overreaction Tuesday, our Week 10 overreactions from the NFL. We'll get to them next. It's the lunch break, KDUS, AM 1060.
James Out West, your desert destination for sports here in the Valley.
And LSU said, yeah, we've had enough. They've had enough of the experience of Brian Kelly losing 3 out of the last 4, and 2 of which he lost to his coordinator. They were ex-coordinators of him. And the last 3 coaches they've had, they've all won national championship within 4 years. Coach O did it. Les Miles did it. Nick Saban did it. Brian Kelly did not. Yeah, out. Now the question is who they bring in.
Back Coach O.
Can't wait to see who that's going to be. No, I think he burned in bridges.
Every other Monday night from 6 to 7 p.m. here on KDUS AM 1060. Baseball is all about stepping up to the plate when it matters most. And when you've been injured, you need a heavy hitter in your corner. At Morgan & Morgan, we don't back down. We fight to get you every dollar you deserve. No curveballs, no strikeouts, just results. That's why we've recovered over $25 billion for our clients and fight for them from offices nationwide. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm, proud sponsor of the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Bad Omens. Do you feel well in North American Tour 2026? Live at Desert Diamond Arena, March 24th. Bad Omens. With special guests, Beartooth, and President. Get tickets now at livenation.com. Bad Omens, live in Glendale.
It's scratches season, and all through the state, the Arizona Lottery is giving people something to celebrate. Grab your friends and gather round for the chance to win $250,000 with Cash Countdown. Peppermint scented candy cane cash is available at any Arizona Lottery retailer in a flash. Gift these and 4 more games for any reason, because there are more than $80 million in prizes this season. This year and all, we wish you a happy holiday. From Arizona Lottery, love the play.
If you don't have gas in your home, but something doesn't smell good.
Ew, what's that smell?
If it smells like rotten eggs, there could be a leak in your neighborhood.
Now what do I do?
If you suspect a leak, move fast, call 911 and Southwest Gas.
But I don't have natural gas in my home.
Gas lines are buried all around, so even if you don't have gas.
I know, call 911 and Southwest Gas.
Jim Rome, here's your Rome Report, and was another wild weekend in the NFL, and there may not have been a better win than that beating Miami put on Buffalo, nor a worse loss than that curb stomping the Dolphins handed them. Look, we all know the dose deficiencies at this point, and that anything can happen in this league. But exactly how did that happen? You were facing an AFC Eastern opponent that you've dominated for years, who came in 2-7, having just fired their GM with both their head coach and their quarterback on thin ice, and having traded away one of their best defensive players. Hey, Bills Mafia, we know
starts going out for other jobs. Like, do you address that, or do you just leave that alone? And because obviously it's not part of your daily regimen.
Yeah, if needed. I mean, our guys know what I'm about. Our guys know I'm born and raised here. My next door neighbor is my sister. She has 3 kids. My little son, who's 3.5, hangs out with his cousins every single day. I just love dinner with my parents, who are 3 doors down from me. Our players know the dynamic and the situation I have here is special. I've recruited all these guys here. They know the situation. So
One of these men brutally murdered Mr. Whittle.
To distract you, trap, do not.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This is the story of the one. As a custodial supervisor at a high school, he knows that during cold and flu season, germs spread fast. It's why he partners with Grainger to stay fully stocked on the products and supplies he needs, from tissues to disinfectants to floor scrubbers. Also that he can help students, staff, and teachers stay healthy and focused. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
On your ride home from work, join in on the Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Bierstein.
If we owned our own football team called the Angry Roosters, and we kept signing people to contracts, and they weren't honoring their contracts and kept demanding raises, at what point do we throw our hands up and just say no to everybody? We signed you to a contract, play out your contract, and that's it. You earn a better contract on your next one, we'll pay you for that.
Live weekdays from 5 to 6 p.m. here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
You're live.
By the way, happy Veterans Day to all of you out there who have served or are serving in the military. We thank you very much. It's an Overreaction Tuesday here on the program. And producer Evan, I don't know if this thought has crossed your mind, but at what point are we in the season where you can no longer overreact? Like, when is the sample size large?
So I was thinking that. I think that's a great question. And I almost think you go bigger picture. And so what I mean by that is you'll see some of mine feel like bigger picture things. Okay. Yeah. So I don't think there's ever a time you can overreact. You can't overreact. Yeah, like even in a playoff loss. Like let's give you an example. Like last year, the Chiefs lost the Super Bowl. I could come in here, my overreaction. Chiefs, they're not going back to the Super Bowl under this regime. They're going to miss the playoffs, right? Like those overreactions can never. Yeah. I think it is. Do I need a calculator? Okay. I mean, I certainly think that in the AFC, Buffalo, Kansas City could be in there. Baltimore could be in there. They might end up winning the division, but in the AFC, like you've seen Denver play. Are they going to the Super Bowl? No. Indianapolis, I love the story. I don't know if they have it. And Pittsburgh, come on. Even as a Pittsburgh Steelers enthusiast here on the program. The only one that really feels like a true Super Bowl contender that could win their division in the AFC is New England. I see it in the certainly, and I just it's so hard to go on the road though and win 3 straight games. So I think it's less possible in the NFC because like the Bears and the Packers aren't. No, I think that Packers defense is really good, and they were great last night. And part of it is maybe just because again it was bad again last night, but it feels like they've lost 3 straight games where the team hasn't, or it's not 3 straight, but 3 games this year where they haven't given up 16 points. Jordan Love's the problem. He really has not been great. Yeah, I saw that too. Yeah, I would certainly take him here. I don't think that's a crazy overreaction at all. I can go. Sorry, I'm having some audio issues. And I'm trying to figure out why they can't hear you because we're hardwired in here. Yeah, so I apologize. But Chris is the first overreaction for those who can't hear us. Wildcard team making the Super Bowl. Mine. The Jaguars will make a quarterback swap at the end of the year. Quarterback change. They're not going to roll with Trevor to start next year.
Can make a change. That's question number 1. Question number 2, if the answer to that question is he did take the job because of Trevor Lawrence, then my follow-up is, has his opinion changed? Is being in there every week, working on game plans, watching him on Sundays, working with him throughout the week, has it led to him and his opinion of Trevor Lawrence changing to where he thinks he can do better? Those are the questions you really have to answer. So I'm not sure. I know that's going to be popular, especially if they miss the playoffs and they don't play well. Did you get it solved?
I got it solved. You're back. They can hear you.
What ended up being the problem?
So when I go into my audio settings, get real technical here.
It's always the settings.
So you have these. So for those who don't know, we hardwire it in through a mixer, and
you had the wrong thing selected.
Scarlett 4i4 4th gen, and then you have the Scarlett 4i4 Gen. You have to be on the just Gen 1, apparently.
Okay, well.
Yeah.
At least we're back up.
We're back up and running.
I'm in on this one. I'm in on this one because I think there's going to be a lot of talk about this, and I think by the end of the year, Jacksonville, this will be a 3rd head coach where it didn't work for Trevor Lawrence. If
it doesn't work,
there may be an appetite to move on.
You're up.
There will be 4 more head coach firings
during season.
Just by the time we get to the end of the year,
by the time of, what do they call that? Blackout Monday.
Black Monday.
There
will be 4 more added to the list.
Yeah. So okay. Yeah, I mean, so you already have Tennessee. They're gone.
I'm not counting any of the ones that 4 in additional to Tennessee in New York with the Giants.
Chicago or Arizona's going to make a change.
That's a possibility.
Miami
is one.
No, you'll hear my next one. Cincinnati
could be one as well. Here are the ones that I think are slam dunk changes are coming. I think there's a change coming in Cleveland. I think there's a change coming in Vegas. I think there is a change coming in Miami. Those are 3, I think, locks. Then you add in all the ones that we just threw out there. Arizona, potentially. What happens in Atlanta? Right? I wouldn't discount there being a change in Atlanta if they continue to falter. Somebody threw Green Bay out there. All right, I'll put them in the mix. Could Houston make a change? Could Cincinnati make a change? I got 3 locks, and I just said
I think Cincinnati makes change.
4 or 5 more.
I'm a little more timid on Houston just because of the way they played this week.
I said at least 4. I think there's like 7 or 8 candidates between now and the end of the season. What's your next one?
My next one. Speaking of it, Sunday's win saved Mike McDaniel's job.
Sorry, say that one more time.
Sunday's win saved Mike McDaniel's job.
This is an overreaction. One win against the Bills does not save a job. You're still 3-7. You're still completely missing expectations. You still don't have a quarterback. The state of your roster is a complete disaster. If you would have gotten good offers, you would have traded Jalen Waddle last week. That wasn't going to save his job. You really think beating Buffalo, if they lose out the rest of the way, Mike McDaniel back. 7-game losing streak.
I don't think
they're
going to lose out the way.
You said this is the win that saves his job. They lose out the rest of the way. They're 3-14. People are going to be like, yeah, but you know what?
If this is the win that turns them around, then I think you could still say.
Fine. If they go on a run here down the stretch, and you can link it back to winning this game, then you've got a story you can tell.
In all honesty, the fact that they haven't fired him, to me, shows that they like him, that they want to keep him from an ownership standpoint. And then he beats Buffalo, and I think they're probably sitting up there saying, see?
I just don't think there's a huge benefit to firing your coach in the middle of the season unless you're a playoff team trying to find it or there's somebody out there that you need to get in front of a bunch of other teams to go get. And I don't think either of those are factors for Miami right now.
That's fair.
Those are my only 2. So if you have another one, you can share.
My last one. The Bears will be in the hunt to win the division at the end of the year.
Right now, tied at 6-3 with the Lions. Playing good ball. 1-2 in a row.
If they beat Minnesota this week, the Lions and the Eagles on Sunday night.
You know what?
They could be in front of the division.
This is an overreaction because I just saw the statistic that tells me it's an overreaction. They're 0-2 in the division already.
They are, yes.
That's going to be a problem.
They lost to Minnesota and Green Bay.
That's going to be a problem. They haven't played the Lions at all yet?
No, sorry. They lost to Minnesota and the Lions.
They haven't played Green Bay yet. They never beat Green Bay. You lose one more divisional game, you're in trouble.
Certainly.
How many 3-3 teams? How many 3-3 teams in the division won their division last year? I'm going to look at it. Buffalo won the division last year. They went 5-1. Baltimore 4-2. Houston 5-1. Kansas City 5-1. Eagles 5-1. Lions went 6-0. Bucks went 4-2. Rams went 4-2. That's in 24. I'm going to go a year past 23. Buffalo 4-2. The Ravens in 2023 went 3-3 in the division, and they won because they went 13-4. But that's it. You have to go 4-2 or better most of the time if you want to win the division.
Yeah, Cincinnati went 3-3 and won the division 22.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess you can do it, but that means you can lose one more divisional game out of your next 4. That's the pressure that you're putting on yourself.
Yeah, we got Minnesota. So let's say you win that one. This week, let's talk about this week. This week they play Minnesota.
Could they beat them? Yes.
And the Eagles play the Lions.
Okay.
We could be talking about a situation where week 11 Bears control their own destiny.
Sure. Well, no, they wouldn't because they've already lost to the Lions. So if they beat the Lions,
Yeah, but they're both 6-3. So you would be 7-3,
right?
And they would be 6-4.
Right. They beat you,
so you would control your own destiny.
You would not. They beat you.
You would still have the better game. If you just beat the Lions, then you win the division.
If you beat the Lions, you win the division. But if you lose to the Lions, now we go to division.
Yeah, and now the Lions
got
win.
3 losses.
But you as the Bears would then control your own destiny.
As long as you don't trip up anywhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's, I think, asking a lot for year one of a coach. So I think this is an overreaction. I will sell I will sell this take. I know that's not what we're doing here, but I will sell the thing. There you have it. Overreaction Tuesday here on the program. When we come back, we know there's a lot to do. Just how much work is there for the Diamondbacks this offseason? That's next. A lunch break. KDUS, AM 1060.
The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alessio is your hub for everything high school and college sports. Join Vince and friends as they give you the full picture on student athletes and where they're heading. Live interviews with coaches across the valley.
Asking some of the tough questions.
Varsity recaps and in-depth interviews with tomorrow's sports stars. The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alessio. Live every Saturday morning from 9 to 11 a.m. Here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
For so many families across the valley, a trip to the grocery store can be stressful thanks to the rising cost of food. And with the government shutdown, many of these families that rely on the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP, are suffering from it. Thankfully, St. Mary's Food Bank, the world's first food bank, is right here in Arizona, and they are here to help. But they need your help too. Visit KDUS1060.com for a list of ways you can help our neighbors in need, from volunteering to donations to helping you and your family get the food you need to get through this. Because together we can make a difference.
Jaw-dropping stunts, high-flying tricks, heart-pounding excitement. Nitro Circus is back. The all-new off-the-rails tour. Gravity-defying thrill seekers and world-class daredevils at the top of their game. FMX, BMX, skate, scooter, and everything in between. Experience all new competitions that pit the best against the best in never-been-done showdowns. Nitro Circus. Friday, December 5th. Desert Diamond Arena. Join the action at Ticketmaster.com.
Hey, Benjamin, we've got a surprise for you.
What?
You've got brothers.
Huh?
$50 and $200 bills just like you.
Hey,
what's
up? What?
We just got them for joining America First Credit Union and opening a new checking account.
And you're all going to live together at America First.
What? This is nice.
For a limited time, new members get a $250 cash bonus when they open a checking account with direct deposit or $50 with a youth checking account. So head to AmericaFirst.com and get your money working today. Membership eligibility, terms, and conditions apply. Federally insured by NCUA.
The Kia Season of New Traditions year-end sales event is going on now at Mark Kia in Scottsdale.
Right now, receive 0% APR for 72 months on a brand new 2025 Kia EV6 and 2026 Kia EV9. You heard right, 0%. And if you're thinking about selling or trading your current vehicle, please give us a call. Our data shows that 9 out of 10 times we offer more.
Don't risk losing $1,000 or more by not making that simple phone call. The name to remember, Mark Kia, Mark Kia. My offer expires December 1st, 2025.
We are cow caretakers.
We are the real milk champions.
We are the dairy farmers of Arizona.
We provide sustainably produced products.
We are stewards of the land.
We are community minded.
We are proud protectors of the world's greatest recyclers.
Hey, 40% of a cow's diet is food waste that would end up in a landfill.
We produce high energy, rapid recovery, and better hydration than water.
We are proudly local and forward thinkers.
We are farm to fridge in 48 hours.
Milk. It's undeniably dairy. A message from your Arizona milk producers.
Only 50% of Arizonans believe their health insurance will cover them in a major medical emergency, like a car accident or an unexpected life-changing diagnosis. Blue Cross Blue Shield of Arizona aims to change that perception. AZ Blue often takes care of more than 99% of hospital charges in major emergencies, protecting you and your family from devastating financial consequences. To learn more about how AZ Blue protects its members, head to azblue.com/true story.
KDUS AM 1060 is your home for the Jim Rome Show.
This is what I mean when I say that was a collapse for the ages. An all-time tank job. Not only did the Giants lead 19-0, going into the fourth quarter, they scored 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns, and they still lost. The Giants were 99.8% to win that game, according to ESPN, but according to the Broncos, the number was actually 0.0%.
Here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Anybody going to sign anybody in Major League Baseball free agency? They're allowed to. Would like something to happen. GMs are meeting in Vegas. Trades could happen. Would love something to kick us off here in what should be a very, very important free agency for a lot of teams. A very newsworthy. You got big names like Kyle Tucker and Bellinger and Bregman out there. I mean, there's going to be a lot of dollars thrown around here this offseason, I think. And maybe not throwing around a lot of dollars, but being pretty involved, they're going to be the Arizona Diamondbacks. And this is a story we originally wanted to talk about yesterday, but then the Bob Nightingale report about the Diamondbacks being definitely motivated to move Ketel Marte this offseason piqued our interest. We said, we'll get to this later in the week, and figured today would be a good day. MLB.com over the weekend, Mike Petrelio wrote a story ranking every team's roster where it stands at the beginning of the offseason. So the Cubs, for example, don't have Kyle Tucker on their roster in this evaluation. The Diamondbacks do not have Zach Gallen and, no Merrill Kelly since he got traded. All these players that were on the roster that are hitting free agency are off for the sake of these rosters. The Diamondbacks roster ranked 20th among all the teams in baseball as we entered free agency. Bottom third of the league. The biggest needs will not surprise you, listed as pitching, both starting and relief pitching, and corner infield. And to me, this story, them being 20th with their current roster going into the offseason, is further proof of how much work there is to do and how active and involved the Diamondbacks are going to be this offseason. They are not going to rest on having one of the worst rosters in the sport, because that's what this story says they have. Their rotation ranks 4th worst in baseball going into next year. We know pitching, a central theme of this offseason. The roster last year almost good enough to sneak in last second to the postseason. They have a core to build around. Corbin Carroll, Geraldo Perdomo, Gabby Moreno, Ketel Marte if they so choose. I'm a member of the 2026 Matters Club. I believe that they can field a roster in 2026 that is competitive. So with that in mind, there's work to be done to get this roster from 20th to something more respectable, something more on the fringes of being a wild card playoff team next year, because that's all this is. That's all we think next year can be with Corbin Burns sidelined and all the money that they're not going to have available to them in free agency, but all the money that's hurt next season. Lourdes Gurriel, that money tied up, not going to play. Corbin Burns, that money tied up, not going to play. They've got injuries. They've got a lot of money just going to sit on the sidelines. They have a budget that's going to come down. Combine those two things, they're kind of caught between a rock and a hard place. Not going to be able to really spend their way into competing with the Dodgers, who will be going for their 3rd consecutive championship next season. Just want to be in the mix. And you want to be in the mix the way you were last year in September, but you want to feel like you have a more complete roster. You want to feel like you can be the Reds, where you can take advantage if the door is open. You couldn't really take advantage. We knew the limitations this team had. So to go from 20 to being in the position to be the Reds, it's going to take some work. It's going to take a couple of starters. It's going to take a couple of relievers. It's going to take figuring out this corner infield situation. Who's playing third? Who's playing first? What are you doing with Jordan Lawler? What are you doing with Blaze Alexander? Answering these questions. And when you have so many questions to answer, when you have all these needs to fill, you gotta act early. I don't think the Diamondbacks can be a team that sits back and allows free agency, allows the trade market to come to them. Because if somebody trades for a starter and sets the price, and now the Diamondbacks can't meet that price, how do you figure this out? How do you put together a roster? The Diamondbacks, with so many holes, with so many needs to fill, there is a sense of urgency, I believe, for this team to act with this offseason. Knock down a shot early, right? Get a starter in on a 1-year deal. Get one of those dart throws on the board. Make maybe a small trade to add a reliever. Just do something so that you see one go down and you start laying the building blocks of an offseason. Because if you sit back and wait and you hopefully see a free agent's price maybe come down a little bit and you think you can strike, think of all the other opportunities that you are potentially missing on because you want to sit back and wait. The Diamondbacks cannot sit back and wait. They have to attack this offseason. They have to be aggressive. Whether it's trading, whether it's the limited free agents that they're going to bring in, aggressiveness is the name of the game. Aggressiveness is how you spin this roster from one of the worst entering the offseason into a team that has a shot come spring. A lot of work to do. 480-864-1060 is the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. You can also hang out with us on the KDUS AM 1060 YouTube live stream. And a reminder, you want to take us with you on the go, the KDUS AM 1060 app is the place to be. When we come back, we wrap up hour number 1 of the program, a little buy or sell, the hottest takes in the Valley. Producer Evan has them next. It's the lunch break, KDUS AM 1060.
Join in on the Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Bierstein.
Oklahoma City taking out everybody on their way to a championship. One of the youngest, I think they average 26 years old,
Yeah.
Rich. As long as they have the Derek Jeter, Michael Jordan gene, or at least one person on that team, hopefully it's Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, they have a chance. And listen, it's human nature to be the best and think, I'll be the best again. And then you fall short. I'm going to say Oklahoma City will not go back-to-back.
Live weekdays from 5 to 6 p.m. here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Millions of fans agree. This Christmas tradition rocks. Trans-Siberian Orchestra, live in concert, presenting the Ghosts of Christmas Eve, the best of TSO and more. November 30th, 2 shows, 3 and 7:30 p.m. PHX Arena. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com. Trans-Siberian Orchestra, presented by 100.7 KSLX.
Did you know that Harrah's Auction Casino is your key to nationwide fun? That's right. You'll unlock perks at more than 50 destinations from coast to coast at your local home for Caesars Rewards. Free dining in Atlantic City? Yes. Free slot play in Maricopa? You bet. Free hotel stays in New Orleans? Oh, yeah. What are you waiting for? Harrah's Auction Casino. Play for all. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700 or 1-800-NEXT-STEP. Visit the Caesars Rewards Center for details.
Ooh, Del Taco? Yep, they got these new boxes that are loaded with my faves.
Hell, big boxes, come on, can I get a Del, yeah?
Del, yeah. What was that? Oh, I bring these guys everywhere. Really enhances the experience.
Del Taco's El Big Boxes now come with bigger burritos. Try the $5 Classico, $7 Mex Faves, and $9 Amerimex box. More food, more flavor, more value. Only at Del Taco.
Del, yeah. Price of participation may vary.
The year-end sales event is going on now at Scottsdale Mitsubishi. Right now, you can receive a 0% APR for 60 full months on all new 2025 Mitsubishi models. You heard right, 0% APR on all 2025 Mitsubishis.
And if you're thinking about selling or trading your current vehicle, please give us a call. Our data shows that 9 out of 10 times we offer more.
Don't cost yourself $1,000 or more by not making that simple phone call. The name to remember, Scottsdale Mitsubishi, Scottsdale Mitsubishi. On approved credit, another Mark Auto Group dealership.
It's the Dan Patrick Show.
Shohei Ohtani had 2 home runs, 2 doubles. They also walked him 5 times, 4 intentionally. They've gotten to the point where he's getting Bonds treatment. I want you to pitch in shame. If you're going to intentionally walk him, I want you to throw the 4 pitches that look silly because you don't want to face him. I don't want it to be, hey, we're going to walk him and I point him to first base. Nope. I want you to acknowledge that you can't get him out and you throw those 4 pitches.
Weekdays, 7 to 10 a.m. right here on KDUS AM 1060 and the KDUS 1060 app.
Back to wrap up hour number 1 here of the lunch break on KDUS AM 1060. Little buy or sell to close up hour number 1. Hottest takes in the Valley. Producer Evan puts them together. I have to react to them. I don't know what's coming today.
You have no idea what's coming.
I mean, my guess is mostly Suns, but I don't know. We didn't talk Cardinals at all in hour number 1.
Can I be honest with you?
Sure.
What if I told you we hit all 3 professional teams and the college team?
Wow. That would shock me.
Fair to be shocked.
But it's your show, so go ahead.
The Suns will get to Christmas still over the 500 mark.
All right, hold on here. Hold on. End of November's kind of tough. Beginning of December is a little tough. Get to play New Orleans. Oh, man. You said Christmas?
Christmas.
Man. Do you know that we're coming right out of Christmas? The Suns play the 26th and the 27th in New Orleans, both days. Those are just 2 wins right there.
Yeah, so maybe
those don't count for
New Year's. They will get to New Year's.
I'll sell. They got some tough games coming up in here. And even though they have some winnable games like Dallas and Indiana and Atlanta and Portland, I mean, they're not a perfect team. They're not mistake-free. They've had some terrible starts to games. They've had turnovers, dig themselves early holes. They're not a well-buttoned-up unit where every winnable game they're going to win. That's not where they're at in this cycle.
I think that's why they're a little fun of the fact that they could lose to anybody because they're young and they could beat anybody.
There is kind of a roll of the dice nature to when you sit down to watch a Suns game. I'm like, okay, what do we got tonight?
That's what's going to make this season fun.
Now, I will tell you, the mark of a good team is when you turn games like last night into no doubters moving forward, meaning that anytime you are clearly the better team, you don't slip up.
When you can look a week ahead in the schedule and say like, oh, that's a win.
I'm not ready to say that just yet about this team. Is that all? Dallas Wednesday, lock it up.
Yeah.
Not there yet.
No, you shouldn't be.
When you get there,
that's when you know you have a good team.
That's
when you turn the corner.
That's when you've turned a corner.
Yep. The D-backs will be a top 15 roster in baseball by the time the season starts.
So based on the story we just talked about where they're 20th, they would have to bridge that gap and move up 5 spots between now and the end of the offseason. I do think they're going to be active. I know they don't have a lot of money to spend. I think this roster is going to look very different. I think it's going to have to for 2026 to matter, and I think they're going to try to field a competitive roster for 2026. They're not just going to cave in, especially everybody likes to tell me that, like, 2027 when Corbin Burns is back. I mean, do you need me to say it again? Because I'm kind of the guy who says it all the time on the radio. There's no guarantee you have baseball in 2027.
Yeah.
Like, I've been saying it since the start of last year that 2027 is in the balance.
There's no guarantee at all.
So how about you put together a team in 2026? How about you do that?
That's what they're going to have to do.
I will buy the ticket.
The Cardinals will not get to 6 wins.
That would be 3 more the rest of the way. I'm gonna do something rare.
Yeah.
Do something rare. I want to put this on layaway, and I want to put this on layaway for the next segment.
Just for one segment?
Because we're gonna open out.
How about this? I'll let you hold it for a segment.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I'm gonna put it on hold for a segment.
Hold for a segment.
We're going to open up hour number 2 talking about how the Cardinals not making any changes and wondering if that's going to doom Jonathan Gannon's future. I want to pull that back up and pull on that thread of how many wins they need to have in the second half of the season.
Yeah, is there a number?
Is there a number?
That's where the conversation lies. All right, next one then. ASU will win out and finish the regular season 9-3.
I'll sell the take. You know me, I love taking the field with these types of takes. Can I tell you this week's a tough one for me?
Yeah, I didn't know you were a West Virginia fan growing up.
Growing up, back in New York, the only real college team that we had was on Long Island. I guess you could choose to root for Syracuse because they were a New York team, but that felt like a really far distance. I guess you could root for Rutgers because it was right there in New Jersey. Living on Long Island, you kind of had the world as your oyster. You can kind of pick whatever college team you wanted, and fell in love with West Virginia football and Pat White and Rich Rodriguez and all of the greatness that West Virginia had there.
Tavon Austin.
Steve Slayton. So, Geno Smith. So, I had that growing up. And in college, I always said, if it ever came down to it, and I said this because at the time I didn't think this was a future possibility, that if the two teams ever played, I would root for West Virginia. I said that in college, going to Arizona State University, mainly because I never thought I would be presented with this type of scenario. Here I am in year 2 of the Big 12, presented with that exact scenario.
I think it's interesting, too, because as East Coast guys, and I don't know if you had any college friends or friends you've made since living out here, like the professional team felt way bigger to me than any college team locally to me.
Growing up?
Yeah.
Oh, no doubt. Especially because, again, like I said, you either rooted for Syracuse or Rutgers, or there was a lot of Notre Dame fans.
Yeah.
Like
I was going to say tons of Notre Dame fans out by me, too.
But that was secondary to
the Eagles play.
Mets, Jets,
yeah.
Rangers, Islanders, Giants, Yankees. The pro teams always took precedence.
Yeah. All right, last one. You ready?
I sold the take, right?
You did sell it. Matthew Stafford will win his first MVP.
Stafford. Boy. I mean, I'm going to sell because you're going to give me the field if I sell the take. That's how it works. And I'll always take the field.
Let me ask you a question. Are you a Matt Stafford's a Hall of Famer?
No doubt.
Okay, so I think he's a Hall of Famer as well. I just want to say if he wins an MVP,
it's a lock.
The victory lap I'm going to take on Twitter because I've been tweeting since
you have the receipts ready to
2014, 2015. Like this guy's a Hall of Fame quarterback.
You have the receipts ready to go.
I can't wait to just keep retweeting those.
Wow. I'm going to sell it. He's been really good. Sam Darnold's been excellent. Daniel Jones has been excellent. Jonathan Taylor's been excellent.
Is Sam Darnold the MVP on his own team?
Yeah, I think Sam Darnold's the MVP on his own team. Why? JSN?
Yeah.
Who throws the ball to JSN?
Who gets open?
I'm just saying, who throws the ball to JSN? You need a good quarterback if you're going to put up big numbers as a wide receiver. That's always going to be the knock on you to try to win an MVP from that position. Hour number 1 of the program in the books. When we come back, we'll have that buy or sell to recap to. And will the Cardinals' lack of changes doom Jonathan Gannon? That's next. Lunch break, KDUS, AM 1060.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
Empty slogans and cute jingles. Lawyers love to act like they care. Do they back it up? Hi, I'm Mark Breyer.
And I'm Alexis Breyer. We're the husband and wife law team. One study found that half of all clients were unhappy with the lawyer they hired. The number one complaint, a total lack of communication.
We take client happiness seriously. That's why we survey all our clients and know that over 97% are happy. Do your research. Call the husband and wife law team first.
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
What makes the holidays the most wonderful time of the year at the Disneyland Resort? It's seeing the sky brightened with unforgettable fireworks, gathering with family for a Christmas fantasy parade, taking in the music, food, and fun of Disney Festival of Holidays, watching the dazzling world of color happiness, and so much more. It's a time filled with joy when the place you know and love is wrapped up in the holiday spirit. And it's made all the more happy during the Disneyland Resort's 70th celebration. So what are you waiting for? The holidays begin here from November 14th through January 7th. Visit Disneyland.com for important details.
It's the most wonderful time of the year. I am not afraid to keep on living.
My Chemical Romance, The Black Parade 2026. Live at Chase Field, September 6th, 2026. With special guest, Jimmy Eat World. Get tickets now at livenation.com. For more, visit mychemicalromance.com.
McDonald's is putting value back on the menu. Whether you're craving a Big Mac, McNuggets, or sausage, egg, and cheese McGriddles, make it a meal and save. Your favorite is now your wallet's favorite, too. Extra value meals, are back.
Get a sausage, egg, and cheese McGriddles extra value meal with hash browns and a small premium roast coffee for $5 at McDonald's for a limited time. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Prices and participation may vary. Cannot be combined with any other offer or combo meal. Promotion pricing may be lower than meal pricing.
The Kia Season of New Traditions year-end sales event is going on now at Mark Kia in Scottsdale.
Right now, you can receive up to $10,000 bonus cash on Kia's most popular EVs, like the 2025 Kia EV6 and 2026 Kia EV9.
The name to remember, Mark Kia, Mark Kia.
AM 1060 KDUS Tempe Phoenix and KSLX HD2 Scottsdale Phoenix.
Hour number 2 of the lunch break here on KDUS AM 1060. Thanks for hanging out with us. Still recapping the Cardinals' embarrassing loss on Sunday, trying to put that game in its proper context, and honestly, just try to figure out where this team goes from here. What the rest of this season may or may not look like. Are we just stuck in a state of purgatory with this franchise until we get to the end of the year? What they're going to do with Kyler Murray, we'll talk about that a little bit this hour. Is there a decision to be made with the head coach? That's where we're going to start this hour. That's our focus right now. But it honestly feels like to me, the individual result of these games, like sitting down to actually watch the games, doesn't really matter. Because I think we all know this team's not going anywhere this season in a year where they were supposed to. I don't know if you feel this way, but when a team that I root for, a team that I'm a fan of, a team that I support has expectations to go to the postseason, if I can tell very quickly, very early on into their campaign that it's not going to happen, it kind of ruins whatever's left on the calendar. Any good story, right? Trey McBride having a great game is kind of ruined. I don't really care as much, even though I should. I should be excited that Trey McBride had a good game on Sunday, that he's having a great season this year, fresh off of that contract extension, that he's clearly a building block for this team to build around. It's hard to do that when you're caught up in the week-by-week nature of how did we get here? How is this the season that the Cardinals are having? Why is this team 3-6? And yet, despite being 3-6, despite being so far off of all of their expectations, Jonathan Gannon's not making any changes. There's no coaching changes coming. Those probably would have happened yesterday. He scoffed at the idea of needing to make changes after the game on Sunday. So I just have one question. Is Jonathan Gannon about to go down with the ship? Is he about to go down and not get a fourth year as the head coach of this franchise because he won't make a change? The bravado of not thinking a change is needed is what bothers me the most of what's happened over the last couple of days. The way he answered that question on Sunday, to me, was a startling revelation. To see him just be completely dismissive. You're a 3-6 football team right now. You're 15-28 as a head coach, and you're going to dismiss the idea that you need to make changes? You're going to dismiss the idea of what's working, of what you're doing right now not working? You're 15-28 as a head coach. What resume do you have to scoff at that question? Andy Reid can scoff at that question. Mike Tomlin can scoff at that question. Nick Sirianni can scoff at questions like that. When you have the resume to back it up, when you have the proof that you know what you're doing, when you have proof that you can point to of having a good football team, coaching a good football team, developing a good football team, you can scoff at those questions. But when you're 15-28 as a head coach, when you're 0-6 against the Seahawks, when you're 3-12 in your division, you don't get to scoff at those questions. And so you are now setting yourself up, if you're Jonathan Gannon, to go down with the ship. You're going to go down because you are stubborn to make changes. Your offense has been bad all year. Statistically, they're a little worse than middle of the road. But defensively, they've been bad. Defensively, which is supposed to be a strength. This isn't the top 10 unit. Producer Evan, do you remember the conversations we had in the summer after they signed Josh Sweat and all the moves that they made defensively and signing Calais Campbell and Dalvin Tomlinson and trading and drafting Walter Nolan and drafting Will Johnson? We said, man, this is going to be a top 10 unit in football. Now, they don't need to be top 5 unit, but can they be a top 10 unit? Yeah. And they were certainly on pace to do that. When you looked at them on paper, they're not even close to that. Every statistic you look at, they're not top 10. And that's supposed to be your bread and butter. That's supposed to be your specialty, Jonathan Gannon, and you're not even giving me that. Now, you probably could see the offensive struggles coming. When you didn't make a single change to that side of the ball, when they didn't have a great year last year, and you probably needed to make changes. You stood by that group, you talked about continuity, probably could see the writing on the wall there. I couldn't see the defense being like this. I couldn't see the defense not having the numbers of a top 10 defense. They've been bad at times this year defensively. The fourth quarter defense has been a trouble spot. They're 19th defensively in opponents' points per game, 22nd in yards per game, 16th in third down conversion. This isn't a top 10 defense. So why is it a bad question to ask about change? Now, I'm going to bring back in the buy or sell that I put on layaway in the last segment. Because you asked me if there was a number of wins that Jonathan Gannon could get here the rest of the way to save his job. And you said, could they get 3, which would get him to six wins for this season? They would go 6-11. I'm sorry, that's not good enough. A 6-11 season in a year where you're supposed to make the playoffs, a 6-11 season, 3 wins the rest of the way. That would be what? They would go 3-5 the rest of the way. If I'm doing my math correctly, they're 3-6 right now. That would be 3-5 the rest of the way.
Rest of the way.
How do you look at that body of work and say you get a year 4? And not just that you get a year 4. Here's the important caveat. Not only you get a year 4, but you also get to pick the next quarterback. That you get to decide who this team potentially trades for. You get to decide who this team potentially drafts in the 2026 NFL draft. What body of work warrants that? 18 wins in your first 3 seasons? Not a single winning campaign, not a single playoff berth, and not even a single playoff berth. But let's look at this through reality. They haven't even been close to making the playoffs. Yeah, they went 6-4 last year, but look at how they finished the season. They were out of it with 2 weeks to go. They didn't stand a chance with the way that they played post-bye last year. That's the guy that gets to come back, and that's the same guy who right now doesn't think there needs to be changes. That's what has me so frustrated with the direction of this franchise right now. You have a coach that does not have the body of work right now, but also has the attitude of somebody who thinks he's 28-15 instead of 15-28. And that guy right now, it looks like, because I haven't heard anything to the contrary, it looks like he's coming back for a year 4. Benjamin Albright, a NFL insider, has been very consistent on this on social media, that unless something drastic happens off the field in the offseason, Gannon's back next year. With this resume? Do you have their schedule pulled up, Evan? Because you asked me about 3 wins. I want to see if I can even get them to 3 wins after what happened on Sunday.
Yeah. So obviously this week they have Niners.
I don't know.
Niners at home.
Can I tell you why I don't know? They almost beat them on the road, sure. But Sunday happened. Sunday's the most recent image in my mind.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something right now on a Tuesday, well before Football Friday. The way this team starts Sunday's game against San Francisco is everything that you need to know about whether or not Jonathan Gannon should be back next year. Pay very close attention to the first quarter of Sunday's game.
I completely agree.
You come out, hair on fire, motivated, ready to go. Okay, coach still has some pull in that room. You come out flat again. You come out with a bad game plan again. You come out turning the ball over, not playing good complementary football. You're playing sloppy. It's over. It's done. Start putting together the wish list of who should be the coach of this team next season. Sorry, please continue.
Niners at home, Jags at home.
I think you can win one of those two games.
I agree. Bucks on the road, no chance.
I don't think you beat the Bucks on the road.
Rams at home, no chance.
I don't think you beat McVay in either game.
Texans on the road. They may not score against that defense.
I mean, that defense is really good. It's a road game. You just don't know what Houston's going to bring to the table offensively, but I'll lean Houston.
Falcons at home.
They can win that game.
Certainly. Bengals on the road.
They can't. Joe Burrow's going to be back.
Yeah. Yep. Certainly looks like that. Rams on the road.
I don't think they win that game either.
Unless the Rams aren't playing anybody.
So best case scenario, I got them 3. As an organization, can you look your fan base in the eye and say, we're bringing back a coach that's, what would he be at that point? He's 15-28 right now. Let's give him the 3 wins. He'd be 3-5 the rest of the way. 18-33.
God, you can't bring somebody back.
You look your fan base in the eye and say, we're getting rid of the quarterback. I know the coach is 18-33. I know the coach can't win a divisional game because I don't even think we've given him a divisional win. Atlanta, Houston.
Yeah, I mean, we said one of the two of that Niners.
So maybe 4 divisional wins. Maybe 4 divisional
max.
18-33. Can't beat the Seahawks. I've only got 4 divisional wins. Didn't get anywhere close to a postseason berth this year. That guy's not only going to get brought back, but that guy is going to have a seat at the table when we pick another quarterback. Because you can't run it back with both the coach and the quarterback. Somebody's got to go. Quarterback's already got a foot out the door. Talk about that a little bit later. Quarterback's already gone. Just a question if the coach is following him out the door. And John over on YouTube says a 10-plus losses, JG is gone. Is that the magic number, 10? If he has a 10-loss season, is he gone?
If they have a 10-loss season, they might as well fire him now. They're not going to win 5 games rest of the season.
To avoid 10 losses.
They would need to win 5 games. You need to be 8-9.
Which means you would need to go 5-2 the rest of the way.
Yeah.
Does this look like a 5-2 football team right now? And that's why, to tie this back to the original point of the conversation, it's why I'm so flabbergasted at a coach who doesn't want to make any changes to his coaching staff. Does he really think this group is the group that's going to get this team out of it? What has he seen from this coaching staff, the group around him, the personnel that he has, that tells him it's going to all of a sudden flip? You've had 2 different quarterbacks play. You lost 5 consecutive 1-score games. And at some point, the light bulb is going to go off, and this team's going to start to win those games. They just got embarrassed on Sunday against a divisional opponent after they beat Dallas on national television and then went to the quarterback who gave them the best chance to win. Locker room rallied behind that decision, and that's the effort you saw on Sunday. What makes you think this team's going to go 5-2 the rest of the way? And why are we not trying to explore every single possible way to get better? If I didn't know any better, these are the actions of somebody who knows he's going to be back next year. This is somebody who doesn't feel the pressure of the final 8 games of the season. Right?
Yeah.
These actions are of somebody who doesn't feel like he's under the hot seat.
Certainly feels like it. It feels like he has been in a meeting where he was guaranteed year 4.
And I'm sorry, if that meeting took place, unacceptable. Unacceptable with this resume that meeting took place.
It's a bad look on Monty Ossenfort if you continue on with Jonathan Gannon.
You bring up Monty. I'm not so sure I'm sold on him as the GM. I'm just focusing on the coach right now. This is year 3. I think it's fair to start asking questions after year 3. Year 1, you don't ask questions. Year 2, you maybe flirt with the idea of asking questions, but it is still too early. After year 3, I think it is well within all of our rights. It doesn't mean we're not patient. It doesn't mean that we are, what other word can I use to describe this? It doesn't mean that we're just hot-headed fans. It doesn't mean that we're being fanatical. It doesn't mean that we're just being hot-takey. This isn't any of that. After year 3, I think it is well within all of our rights to question what is going on here. And if this team only wins 3 games the rest of the way, like the buy or sell question asks, after year 3, you've got a coach and a GM that have won 18 games together. That's an average of 6 wins a season. What else there is to say? That record is not good enough. You've had plenty of time to turn things around. You've had plenty of time to get your guys in here. And don't put blame on the offense. You ran this group back. You didn't make any changes. You kept this offensive line, which is outside of Paris Johnson, not playing very well this year. I don't want to hear about injuries to Trey Benson and James Conner. You should be better than this. These one-score games, you should not be losing all of them. Some of them should be going your way. You should not have blown fourth quarters against Green Bay, against Indianapolis, against Tennessee. You should not have blown those games. Change is absolutely on the table. I know Jonathan Gannon doesn't want to put change on the table, but I'm putting it on the table. Because at the end of the season, if this continues down this path, how are we not having that conversation? How are you selling fans? Are you going to buy tickets if they're just going to run this back with the coach and the GM? So Jonathan Gannon may not want to talk about change. I certainly am. 480-864-1060 is the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. When we come back, it's Tuesday, which means the NFL News Dump. The hottest stories, the top stories around the world of football. We get to as many of them as we can next. It's the lunch break. KDUS, AM 1060.
NAU Lumberjack basketball continues here on KDUS AM 1060. Join NAU men's basketball as they hit the road to take on the Wildcats of the U of A. Coach Shane Burkhardt is ready to show what his team can do on the court and score a win down in Tucson. Join Mitch Stroman on the call live this Tuesday night. It's NAU versus the University of Arizona. Pregame at 6:30 p.m. and tip-off at 7 right here on KDUS AM 1060. Online at KDUS1060.com and on the KDUS 1060 app.
Global Credit Union, how can I help you?
It's one of those voice prompts.
Representative! Good morning. How can I help?
Wait, is this a real person?
It's 2 a.m.
We're here to help members 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year.
Impossible.
At Global, possible. Learn more at globalcu.org. Global Credit Union, your world of financial possibilities.
Hi, I'm Andy, your friend and jeweler at Shane Company. As a product development manager, I make sure every piece of fine jewelry at Shane Company is meticulously designed for quality. From 14-karat gold chains, pearl necklaces, diamond studs, and of course, dream engagement rings. We know you can get your holiday gifts anywhere these days, but knowing your loved one's gift was crafted by master jewelers? It's a difference everyone can see and feel, no matter the price. All of our fine jewelry begins with a vision by our in-house designers. Then, we ensure each piece meets our high-quality standards every step of the way, including the smallest details. It's why our jewelry comes with our all-inclusive, free lifetime warranty that covers everything and doesn't cost a dime. At Shane Company, there's no shortcuts, just craftsmanship. Because a friend wants your fine jewelry to be nothing short of perfect. Come see for yourself. Visit us in store or at shaneco.com. Shane Company, your friend and jeweler.
Sticks. The Hits. Live at Celebrity Theater. Friday and Saturday, January 9th and 10th. With special guest Max Gomez. Tickets on sale now at celebritytheater.com. A trip through all their best. Don't miss Sticks Live. Produced by Danny Zalisco Presents.
This is Above the Noise. When the season began, the Packers looked like they had everything you need to contend for a Super Bowl. sturdy offensive line, reliable run game, a deep group of pass receivers, a defense loaded with playmakers, and a proven head coach and quarterback. And for the most part, it still is, except for where it matters most. After Monday night's disappointing home loss to the Eagles, the Packers are now 5-3-1. And the pattern is clear. The offense disappears. Green Bay has scored just 13, 16, and 7 points in those 3 losses. Not what you expect from a quarterback making $220 million. Love was supposed to be the steady hand that tied this talented roster together. Instead, he and Matt LaFleur have become the biggest question marks. The Packers aren't broken, but if they don't start scoring like a contender, their championship window could quietly start to close. I'm Dan Patrick, and this is Above the Noise. It's being called the Golden Bonanza Sweepstakes. Thanks to our friends at Mako, the DP Show, proud to be a part of this, giving listeners a chance to join us in San Francisco for Super Week. That's right, a trip for 2, including round-trip coach airfare, 3 nights, hotel stay, ground transportation, and VIP access to see us do our show. If that's not enough, Mako also giving away 5 free paint jobs and 10 Mako and DP Show swag bags as runner-up prizes. It's really simple to enter. You go to danpatrick.com. The best news, you can enter daily for a chance to win. You can also receive a 25% off coupon to use at any Mako shop. Visit any Mako location now for a free estimate and redeem the coupon. Terms and conditions apply. Remember, go to danpatrick.com for official rules. No purchase necessary. Void in Alaska, Hawaii, and where prohibited. Open to contiguous U.S. D.C. residents 18 or over. Ends 11/23/25.
ASU women's basketball continues right here on KDUS AM 1060. For the first time this season, the Lady Sun Devils hit the road ready to take on San Diego. With new head coach Molly Miller guiding the team, ASU looks to deliver on the court. Join Jeff Munn live on the call from the Golden State. It's ASU versus San Diego this Thursday night. Pregame at 6:30 p.m. and tip-off at 7 right here on KDUS AM 1060. Online at KDUS1060.com and on the KDUS 1060 app.
A lot going on in the world of football. It's Tuesday, which means the NFL news dump. We try to get to as many of the stories as we can. I know where producer Evan wants to start.
Where do I want to start?
It's only a 2-point lead.
Oh, thank you for reminding me.
I figured at some point in the program, whether now or during the leftovers, I'm surprised you didn't open the show with it. I'm surprised you didn't hit the daily special and do it yourself. That the Eagles won last night, which means now I only have a 2-point lead on you in the picks.
Only a 2-point lead. What a poorly mispriced number there in Green Bay.
I know you're going to do your thing, so I'm not going to convince you here. What a terrible football game that was last night.
Yeah.
And
I saw something on Twitter today that was like, do you ever feel bad for defensive coordinators that everybody's like, what an awful football game last night? Those guys had the best day of their year.
Yeah, I mean, that was a chess match for those two. Fine, yeah. That's great. Didn't enjoy it. Didn't enjoy watching.
Win's a win.
Of course. You don't. What do we say? You don't call the league office and tell them to take it back.
And I'm certainly not giving back the 3 points.
Now, I will say, I know I took Green Bay last night in the game. Even if I had not been suckered into being a part of it, I would only have a 3-point lead. Because my 1-point play would have been Detroit. I would have gotten it. And I still would have lost the week. So I'm not going to lose any sleep.
You're not kicking yourself.
No, not at all.
The Giants have fired Brian Daboll.
Yes.
And they have chose to move forward with Joe Shane, who's going to lead this coach search.
I do want to talk about this. There is a groundswell of support on social media for Brian Daboll, and there are a lot of unhappy Giants fans about not getting rid of both of them.
I just want to be very clear. I don't know, in all honesty, who would be up there as a Giants fan and be like, Brian Daboll, like that, he's our guy.
I'm okay with them keeping Shane. I don't think Shane has as bad of a resume as people think.
I actually tend to agree, because looking at it, was he right with the quarterback?
Well, it's funny you bring this up because there are a lot of people that are showing you clips from Hard Knocks of him in the draft room on the night where they traded up, and they are picking out his words where he makes the comment, you guys like him, you guys believe in him, and he's looking at Brian Daboll while he's saying this, let's make the pick. And there are people that are twisting those words and painting this picture that Joe Schoen is saying that, and that means Joe Schoen didn't want Jackson Dart. Tell me you've never played organized sports or made an important decision in your life ever. He's saying that you guys have conviction as the coaches, as the people that have to work with this quarterback. So since you guys like him, let's ride. He's validating the process that the entire organization went under to pick Jackson Dart. He's talking through the process, and they're saying him saying you is a negative. It's a positive. He's reinforcing that, hey, we got to this place. You guys believe in him. You're the most important part here because you've got to coach him. You've got to be the ones that are in love with him. Let's do it. So I think everyone's looking to dunk on Joe Schoen, and I'm sorry, I won't do it. I think his resume, it's not perfect.
No.
But I think he deserves a chance to pick another coach? I do.
And I do think that looking at Daboll, and I've been kind of a Daboll feel like truther for the last maybe 2 seasons. Daniel Jones leaving and being as good in Indianapolis is the biggest punch in the face to the resume of Brian Daboll. Because it means you had a quarterback that can play at that level in the room. And you weren't able to get it done.
Joe Schoen has been the general manager since 2022, okay? In 22, he took Kayvon Thibodeau 5th overall. How's that working out for him?
Pretty good.
Wan'Dale Robinson's a decent player, right?
Yeah.
How about Daniel Bellinger? He's been a pretty solid tight end.
Solid tight end.
Okay. The 23 draft, they took Deontay Banks, they took John Michael Schmitz, and they took Jalen Hyatt with their first 3 picks. That tough class. But 24, Malik Neighbors.
I mean, slam dunk.
Theo Johnson, pick 107.
Yeah.
Pick 166, Tyrone Tracy.
Yeah.
How about this past year's draft? How's Abdul Carter working out?
So far, so good.
How's Jackson Dart before he got hurt? How's that?
So far, so good.
How's Cam Scatterbo at pick 105?
Again, before he got hurt, he was great.
You're not going to hit on all your picks, but there's some day 3 value there. The first round picks are solid most of the time. Sorry, I'm not going to dunk on him. Not going to do it.
It was certainly time to move on from Brian Daboll.
He's 20, 40, and 1 as a head coach.
And he got the quarterback hurt this week. And that is the end-all be-all. And you bring in a guy in Mike Kafka, or you promote a guy in Mike Kafka who is an offensive mind. So you don't lose anything when your young quarterback does come back from injury. Bengals have brought Joe Burrow back from the injured reserve, and he can start practicing, hoping to be back and eyeing a Thanksgiving Day return for the Bengals quarterback.
Where do they sit right now?
Currently 3-6.
Let's do some math here. Let's look at the standings.
Their schedule is not easy.
You've got their schedule?
I looked at it today, but I kind of thought when I wrote that story. But
well, they have the Cardinals on their schedule. So
yeah, that is probably. I mean, that and the Dolphins.
Two games out of the division right now for those keeping track of that.
So you have the Steelers and Pittsburgh.
They are 2 games out of a playoff spot in the AFC, and they're in the 11th seed. Right now, they have Steelers, Patriots, Ravens, Bills, Ravens as their season is toast. Those are just their next 5 games.
I mean, they finish with Dolphins, Cardinals, Browns.
All right, so they can win all 3 of those to get to 6.
But, I mean,
they're going to need to find 3 more.
How many do you need to, in all honesty, you need to win 3 of at Steelers, home against New England, at Baltimore, at Buffalo, home against Baltimore?
If we are going to assume they win the final 3, that gets them to 6. I think 9 is, I don't even know if 9 gets it done, but 9 is.
I think you need 10.
9's the bare minimum for you to be a playoff team. You got to run the table.
Yeah, it feels like you can only lose one of them.
Now, can you beat the Steelers on Sunday? Yes, because I watched you do it 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, however long ago it was. They beat them on Thursday night.
Now, let's be real. If they just time their wins correctly and you beat Pittsburgh and Pittsburgh kind of continues this sputtering they're on, and you take both against Baltimore.
Oh, the division's in play, and now
The
record
division's
doesn't
in
matter,
play.
right?
And now
Yeah.
record doesn't matter.
Sure. If the games you win, which ones you win may be more important than the number that you win. Yes. I mean, the NFL is better when Joe Burrow's in. We can all agree on that?
We can all agree on that.
So
I can tell you, by the way, I know exactly how this game goes. Or how this goes.
Well, he's eyeing a Thanksgiving return, right?
Yep.
So they're going to play the next 2 games without him.
Here's how this game goes. Cincinnati comes back, ends up winning the division. Okay? The Chargers, they're the number 5 seed. They go to Cincinnati to play the 4-5 game. The Chargers have no chance. Cincinnati's going to the divisional round.
It's going to be some heavy lifting.
And you know what? I'm going to cut that after the show today. So when that happens.
You have that ready to go?
Yeah.
Okay. What else you got?
Oh, yeah, I forgot we're in.
Yeah, it's the news dump. There's more things to get to.
Keenan Allen has broken the Chargers team reception record, passing Antonio Gates.
Special player who I think is underrated, I think. I don't think he gets enough love for being a very good wide receiver. And he's still doing it this late in his career, and he's back at the place where it started. He had that brief stint in Chicago for a little bit. But yeah, I mean, they needed an extra wide receiver there in LA for Herbert, and he's been great.
Garrett Wilson to miss 3 to 4 weeks
thanks.
with a knee injury.
Thanks.
Sorry.
You available on Sunday? Are you available on Thursday?
Me? I'm around.
Because the Jets need somebody to catch passes on Thursday.
I would totally.
Okay.
do it.
All right. Taking Garrett Wilson out and taking out A.D. Mitchell because they just traded for him. Can you name another receiver on the New York Jets? A receiver on the New York Jets.
No Garrett Wilson.
No Garrett Wilson because he's hurt.
Yeah.
He's not going to play.
And no A.D.
No
Mitchell.
A.D. Mitchell because
of that
he's
deal.
kind of a running bit here on the show.
Yeah, so, I mean, Lazard's not there, obviously. Cobb, long gone. Yeah, I mean, Gibson's gone because he's an Eagle. Didn't they draft somebody?
They did.
Yeah, what is his name?
Played at Georgia.
Yeah, I was just... Who is it?
Arian Smith. Also, Alan Lazard is on the team. He's just inactive every week. Tyler Johnson's also there. It's a tough group.
Alan Lazard is still on the squad.
Yeah, he's on the team. He was inactive on Sunday. He's been inactive a lot.
Healthy scratch?
Yeah, he's the definition of a healthy scratch. So that they need A.D. Mitchell to be.
You can trade Lazard to Pittsburgh, get some good value.
Well, the trade deadline is over, so we can't do any of that. But A.D. Mitchell very important for this team on Thursday as they will take on the New England Patriots.
They're gonna need a big day from A.D. Mitchell.
I mean, they're gonna need a big day from Breece Hall. That's really what it comes down to.
That's all I got.
Really?
In the news dump.
All right, there you have it. The Week 10 NFL News Dump here on the program. 480-864-1060 is the phone number for you to join us here today on the program. When we come back, discussions are on the way. But do we really need to have them? That's next. The lunch break. KDUS, AM 1060.
James Out West, your desert destination for sports here in the Valley.
And LSU said, yeah, we've had enough. They've had enough of the experience of Brian Kelly losing 3 out of the last 4, and 2 of which he lost to his coordinator. They were ex-coordinators of him. And the last 3 coaches they've had, they've all won national championship within 4 years. Coach O did it. Les Miles did it. Nick Saban did it. Brian Kelly did not. Yeah, out. Now the question is, who do they bring in?
Back Coach O.
Can't wait to see who that's going to be. No, I think he burned in bridges.
Every other Monday night from 6 to 7 p.m. here on KDUS AM 1060.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in a car accident, call America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you. If you or anyone in your family has been injured in a car accident, call us now, as the time to file a claim may be limited. Last year, more clients hired Morgan & Morgan than ever before, protecting America, fighting for you. Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Every day, reliable, comfortable, connected. Every day you rely on power. At APS, we work around the clock to deliver some of the most reliable power in the country. But with Arizona's extreme weather, outages can happen. Stay safe and informed with alerts by keeping your contact information up to date. And visit our outage center for updates online or on the APS app. For more ways to stay safe and informed, visit aps.com/brighter.
Sometimes a girl in my class doesn't bring anything to eat for lunch.
The truth is, in America, 1 in 5 kids worry about their next meal.
I want everybody to have yummy food.
So do we. That's why Fry's donates surplus fresh food from our shelves to your local food bank. We've provided over 3.5 billion meals through our Zero Hunger, Zero Waste plan. Visit friesfood.com to see how you can help fight hunger and waste in our community.
Because nobody should have an empty tummy.
Come visit the all-new Wecopa Casino Resort, formerly Fort McDowell Casino. Whether you're visiting for slots, table games, the Valley's favorite bingo hall, golf, or food, our new smoke-free casino resort is the place to be. Enjoy a fine dining experience like no other at Ember, or go for the lively crowd at WKP Sportsbook and Bar. Wecopa offers 2 top 10 golf courses in the state, and the resort with heated pools and cabanas is the perfect place to relax. Come experience Wecopa Casino Resort today. At Wecopa, we have the best of it all.
It's frustrating when people intervene on you, but they have problems of their own. It's like when someone sends you a text, but the text comes from their email address. I hate this. Your name at iCloud, they FaceTime you from their email address? Are you calling on a child's iPad?
Emmy-winning comedian John Mulaney announces his new tour, Mr. Whatever. Celebrity Theater, Friday, March 6th. Tickets on sale now at etix.com.
Hellsberg Gifts checked off the list. Now, time for wrapping. Earrings for mom. A gold bracelet to match the rings Danielle wears every day. And for dad, a new watch, because we all know he needs one. All right, this is going to be a good one.
Our favorite things for your favorite people. Shop in store at Hellsberg.com for up to 50% off.
On your ride home from work, join in on the Sports Zoo with Dave Rooster Beerstein.
If we owned our own football team called the Angry Roosters, and we kept signing people to contracts, and they weren't honoring their contracts and kept demanding raises, at what point do we throw our hands up and just say no to everybody? We signed you to a contract. Play out your contract, and that's it. You earn a better contract on your next one, we'll pay you for that.
Live weekdays from 5 to 6 p.m. here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
It was a story that got dropped over the weekend, and it was one that made it seem like the Cardinals still had a decision to make. It came from Adam Schefter, and it was titled, Kyler Murray's Cardinals Future in Limbo as Offseason Decision Looms. And Schefter went on to say that the two sides are expected to have extensive discussions to help determine whether to move forward together or to go their own ways. Many sources believe the latter is the likely outcome, with one source saying this week that, quote, a separation is imminent, end quote. I didn't know that there was a decision that needed to be made. Kyler Murray's not going to play for this team more than likely for the remainder of the season. And he's owed a decent amount of money for the remainder of this contract, some of it kicking in very early on into the new league year. And so this is really simple. The Cardinals are not in a position to run this back. Remember how we opened hour number 2 of the program? What if Jonathan Gannon is still here? They're just going to run this back with Kyler Murray again next year? Same coach, same quarterback? What's the public perception going to be of this franchise then? Can't happen. That's just the vibes and the optics of a Kyler Murray return. The math, when you actually break it down,
I'm a huge nerd.
The math tells a very, very clear, specific story. He's owed $19.5 million in guaranteed money on the 5th day of the new league year in mid-March. If he is on the Cardinals roster on that day, He's owed $19.5 million in guaranteed money. Cardinals have to give him that check, $19.5 million, guaranteed. Can't do anything about it. It is owed to him. Let's just play out this math in this way. If they cut him before that $19.5 million is owed, they'll owe him $36.8 million in cash and $54.7 million against the cap. If they wait a year, if they somehow convince themselves and try to convince all of us that they're going to run it back, and they cut him next year in 2027, it's $62 million in cash and it's $80 million against the cap. I don't have a math degree, but I don't think I need one to describe the difference between those two numbers of what this team cost themselves by waiting an extra year. There's no way they're going to wait another year to solve this. My favorite resource, overthecap.com, earlier this week, Jason Fitzgerald wrote a story about the Cardinals and Kyler Murray. And he wrote some of these exact numbers. I'll read directly from his piece. Quote, the Cardinals would need to be sold on Murray as their starter for the next 2 years if they were to keep him. If they release him next March, the Cardinals would pay $36.8 million in cash and $54.7 million on the cap. If they keep him, he fails, and then they want to move on in 2027, they would then pay around $62 million in cash and $80 million on the cap. That makes no sense at all. So if there is any hesitation about his floor and ceiling as a starter, they can't keep him and sink that much more room for another losing season, end quote. The basic arithmetic tells you where we're headed to at the end of this season. If they find a way to trade him, it's the best thing for all parties because Kyler gets to keep the remainder of his deal. The Cardinals get the maximum cap savings. It only costs them around $18 million on the cap. Now you have to find a team that's willing to take on the remainder of that contract. You have to find somebody who wants to pay him the remaining cash on that deal. I don't know if there's going to be a team that wants to pay that high price. His salary cap hit next year is going to be $53 million. That's the 9th highest number in the sport. His salary is 11th among quarterbacks in the NFL. We're going to know pretty early on because by the 5th day of the league year, the Cardinals owe him another $19.5 million. So they are either going to cut him or trade him before that date. But know this, there is no decision about Kyler Murray's future here in Arizona. There is just one decision that the Cardinals have to try to figure out. Is there a path to trading Kyler Murray, or do we just have to cut our losses and move on? That's it. That's the only decision. There is no twisting yourself into a pretzel for year 8. There is no convincing yourself that a healthy Kyler Murray with a different supporting cast. No. He's been here for 7 years. They have not met expectations. This is the chance to get out of the deal. You take the exit ramp. It's all code, said the theme of the day, addition by subtraction. Maybe it works out for him somewhere else. Maybe it doesn't. It's not working here, full stop. Let me tell you something right now. I'm going to look directly into the camera when I say this. If Kyler Murray goes someplace else and succeeds, I'm not going to lose an ounce of sleep over it. It's not going to bother me one bit if Kyler Murray goes somewhere and does what Daniel Jones is doing in Indianapolis, what Sam Darnold is doing in Seattle, what Baker Mayfield is doing in Tampa, what Geno Smith did when he got to Seattle. It's not going to bother me because it wasn't working here. So just because you are afraid of it potentially working someplace else, you torpedo your own franchise's ability to succeed. I can't do it. Not after year 7. If somebody else can figure it out, good on them. I can't allow year 8, year 9, year 10 of Kyler Murray's career to be here and have a ceiling of 6 or 7 wins and not being anywhere close to making the postseason. I just can't sign up for it. I just can't do it. So I don't think there's going to be any discussions about these two sides moving forward together. The only decision that needs to be made, can you trade him or do you have to cut him? That's it. That's the only decision left for the Arizona Cardinals to make about Kyler Murray's future. Can we find a willing trade partner? Do we have to pay down some of the money in order to move him, or do we just have to cut him outright? That is it. That is the only decision that this organization has left to make when it comes to Kyler Murray. So I saw that story over the weekend that, there's going to be discussions. No, there's no discussions. There's no bringing him back for year 8. We're done. We set out the expectations at the beginning of the year. Anything short of making the postseason meant it was over. It was time to start fresh. Now, at the time, I didn't think that was also going to include a conversation about the coach. Here we are needing to have both of those conversations. But Kyler is done here. It is over. You have tried every which way to make this work, and it hasn't. It's time to try something else. We got one more segment before we out of here today on the Tuesday edition of the program. It's all the stories we didn't get to throughout the course of the day. We call them the leftovers. Get to them next. It's the lunch break. KDUS, AM 1060.
The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alessio is your hub for everything high school and college sports. Join Vince and friends as they give you the full picture on student athletes and where they're heading. Live interviews with coaches across the valley.
Asking some of the tough questions.
Varsity recaps and in-depth interviews with tomorrow's sports stars. The Varsity Sports Show with Vince D'Alessio. Live every Saturday morning from 9 to 11 a.m. Here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
For so many families across the valley, a trip to the grocery store can be stressful thanks to the rising cost of food. And with the government shutdown, many of these families that rely on the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP, are suffering from it. Thankfully, St. Mary's Food Bank, the world's first food bank, is right here in Arizona, and they are here to help. But they need your help too. Visit KDUS1060.com for a list of ways you can help our neighbors in need, from volunteering to donations to helping you and your family get the food you need to get through this. Because together we can make a difference.
The Mazda More to Move You sales event is going on now at Mark Mazda in Scottsdale.
Right now at Mark Mazda, receive 0.9 APR for 60 full months on some of Mazda's most popular models, like a 25 Mazda CX-5. And don't know what to do with your trade? We'll give you a minimum $8,000 for any trade, no matter what shape it's in, as long as it runs based on the actual MSRP.
And if $8,000 is the minimum, think what your good trade might be worth. The name to remember? Mark Mazda. Mark Mazda. On Credit Plus 98.5.
If you don't have gas in your home, but something doesn't smell good.
Ew, what's that smell?
If it smells like rotten eggs, there could be a leak in your neighborhood.
Now what do I do?
If you suspect a leak, move fast, call 911 and Southwest Gas.
From a safe location. But I don't have natural gas in my home.
Gas lines are buried all around, so even if you don't have gas.
I know, call 911 and Southwest Gas.
This winter, step into a world of wonder at the Tianyu Lights Festival, open now through January 4th at Camelback Ranch, Glendale, and Phoenix. Explore the 4 new themes: Bugs Aglow, Colors of Holidays, Rainforest, and Prehistoric Animals, which feature 70 glowing handcrafted lanterns. Enjoy delicious foods and beverages at our food court, explore the interactive lanterns, and complete your visit with a trip to the marketplace where you'll find unique souvenirs. Don't miss this unforgettable holiday experience. Tickets are available now.
KDUS AM 1060 is your home for the Jim Rome Show.
This is what I mean when I say that was a collapse for the ages. An all-time tank job. Not only did the Giants lead 19-0, going into the fourth quarter, they scored 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns, and they still lost. The Giants were 99.8% to win that game, according to ESPN, but according to the Broncos, the number was actually 0.0%.
Here on KDUS AM 1060 and on the KDUS 1060 app.
All right, Producer Evan, what do we have today in the leftovers? I'm always intrigued on a day where we have the NFL news dump. What actually makes it into the leftovers?
Well, yeah, it's always interesting. I feel like kind of probably the biggest story of the day is what the Dallas Mavericks. Harrison, just 9 months after the Luka Doncic trade. So all of that coming into the picture here for the Mavs. And you got to work for the Suns. Do they get the GM bump?
You stole my line. You stole
I stole your line.
You stole my thunder from the morning meeting where I told you that maybe the only thing that stops the the Phoenix Suns is that they played the Dallas Mavericks next in their first game since firing Nico Harrison, and it's in Dallas. So the crowd's probably going to be pretty electric now that they're in the post-Nico Harrison era. And yeah, that might be the only thing that stops the Phoenix Suns. Listen, that Dallas team is not very good. They're, I think, 2-7 to start the year.
Correct.
Talks of needing to just blow it up and trade Anthony Davis and trade Kyrie Irving because it's just not working. Yeah, I mean, life comes at you fast sometimes as a general manager. I mean, you make the worst trade in the history of the sport, right? And you don't handle the aftermath well. I saw a story, I don't know how true it was, that apparently they installed these stairs for him to make a quick exit out of his seat.
I didn't hear that.
Could be a made-up story on the internet.
Yeah.
Let me just make it very clear. But I thought I read a story yesterday or 2 days ago that they have these roll-away stairs that they use for hockey configurations there in Dallas at that arena.
Yeah.
And that they have those near his seat so that he can get out of there quickly. Now, I don't know if it's true or not. But the fact that I even am considering it to be a true statement just shows you how bad things got there in Dallas.
It's been really, really bad.
I mean, just maybe don't trade Luka Doncic would be my suggestion to the next person in charge there in Dallas. Don't trade your good players away. Don't trade your franchise-altering players. That's my suggestion.
I would say when you have a superstar like that.
Yeah, don't trade superstars.
That would be my first big thing. Did you see, this is really recent, so I don't know if you caught this during the show. Brian Kelly is filing for a lawsuit alleging LSU is failing to honor contract terms.
He wants the whole buyout.
Everything.
He wants every single penny. They've given him offers, I think, of $25 and $30 million. He wants all 53.
I don't know if he's going to get that.
That's what the contract stipulates.
Like, does he have to get that?
That's what the buyout is on his contract. Unless the two sides come to terms on a settlement and they draw up an amendment to the contract and say, this is what we're now agreeing the buyout is, and then it's going to get paid out, he's owed they fired him. They're not saying they fired him with cause. They're not saying he did something against the school's code of conduct. They fired him because his LSU football team wasn't very good. Okay, that comes at a price. And the price, according to the contract, is $53 million. And so Brian Kelly is saying, where's my check? $53 million. I'm trying to make sure I do the math correctly. With 6 zeros, please. That's what he wants. He's entitled to every penny. The only thing that offsets it if he takes a job someplace else. But for $53 million, I may just hang out on a beach somewhere.
There are weird stipulations in the Franklin contract. Have you seen that? Like, he needs to have, to get his full buyout, he needs to be actively searching for a job. So, like, he needs to make a certain amount of TV appearances or start coaching in the next few years.
Okay. He agreed to that as part of the buyout.
Yeah,
right?
It's kind of crazy.
Guess what? When the contract gets sent to two parties, they both have the ability to read it. So if James Franklin is surprised that that's part of his buyout structure, he signed on the contract. Just like LSU signed with the buyout being $53 million. So I don't feel bad for these universities when they have to pay. You're the one that gave him the big contract. You're the one that agreed to these stipulations. You're the one that fired him. Not saying that you were wrong for firing him. He was underperforming in your mind. Okay. But to get out of that early, it comes at a cost.
Yeah.
So $53 million, 6 zeros, owed to Brian Kelly.
Speaking of college football, Bleacher Report released their Heisman favorites, and they divided into a few different groups. You got Tier 4, they're the long shots. Tier 3, still hopeful. Tier 2, top challengers. And Tier 1, your front runners. Your front runners: Ty Simpson, quarterback, Alabama; Fernando Mendoza, quarterback, Indiana; and Julian Sayin, the true freshman at Ohio State, quarterback. In the Tier 2 top challenges, Gunnar Stockton, quarterback, Georgia; Trinidad, who is, to me, the story of college football, quarterback at Ole Miss; Marcel Reed, the quarterback at Texas A&M; Diego Pavia, quarterback at Vanderbilt. As you get outside of this, you get some of the non-quarterbacks and the hopefuls. Jeremiah Love at Notre Dame, Jeremiah Smith, obviously at Ohio State. And then in the long shots, Haynes King, Dante Moore, CJ Carr, Jaden Mayava, a couple other quarterbacks there.
It's a very interesting Heisman race this year.
It's so interesting.
I think it's wide open, right?
It really is.
So it feels like to me.
And we're not early anymore.
Oh, it's getting late.
It's getting late.
And in fact, it's the opposite of early. It's late. We've got a couple weeks left on the college football calendar.
Yes. I think it's really cool, by the way, that College Game Day is at Notre Dame Pitt next week.
Should be fun.
That's a fun one. So Pitt's ranked. Have you seen much of what they got going on?
I have not watched a ton of Pitt football, if I'm being transparent with the audience.
No, that's very fair. I don't expect you to. Here are their next few games because I saw this the other day. So Pitt football is ranked 23rd. If Notre Dame at home, Georgia Tech on the road, Miami at home. If they win those three, I don't care. You put them in the playoff. You beat Notre Dame, Georgia Tech, Miami. I think you got a shot if you lose to Notre Dame and win the last two.
They're ranked in the top 25. It's Tuesday, which means we should get another.
Yeah, we're going to get an updated
playoff tonight.
So
we'll see where they end up there. I think if you run the table, you're certainly going to force a
You're
conversation. Yeah, you're going to force a conversation. Where do they stack up in conference?
In conference,
would they get to play in a conference championship game or no? I don't know. I don't have a up to date
ACC standings.
Yeah, I don't know where Pitt stands in that regard.
The ACC, they are currently third, and so if they beat Georgia Tech, they would play in the conference.
So if they won out, that would at least give them an automatic spot.
Yeah, they are tied for third in the conference with Georgia Tech, tied for first, really. Georgia Tech, Virginia, Pitt, SMU, all at 5-1.
In conference.
In conference.
And what is it? The top two go to the championship?
Top two. Miami, 3-2. They have 2 conference losses.
All right, so they're not a problem. So win out and you beat Georgia Tech. And
if you beat, you could, like I said, if you lose
to Notre Dame,
that's not a conference loss.
They're
not the ACC. They're just independent.
Are they playing? They're playing as an independent. But they're playing an ACC schedule. Remember, they sometimes play an ACC schedule. I can never remember what they do.
I think they're still independent.
Win out, you get to play in the ACC title game, and you have an automatic chance. This is now a pro Pittsburgh University podcast. Go Pitt.
Go Pitt Panthers.
Hope the Pitt Panthers win this.
It's crazy how many NFL alumni they have when you look at it.
Jim Rome is coming up next. Producer Evan, thank you for all that you do. Everybody, have a great rest of your Tuesday. We'll talk to you tomorrow. See you.
AM 1060 KDUS